Hi everybody. Today's yoga practice will focus on creating awareness and not judgment. This is a really compassionate attitude to have with yourself and with others, where we tend to be our own harshest critics and we create a lot of judgment, especially around our own bodies and our own situations. And when we practice showing ourselves some compassion around whatever's going on for us, whether it's physically, emotionally, mentally, whatever it happens to be, then we can in turn tune ourselves to the outside world in a compassionate way with more awareness and less judgment. So take a comfortable seat, and this is where you get to tune into the details. How does it feel to sit? And it can be, as you can see, I'm on my knees straddling a prop. It can be sitting in a chair, it can be sitting cross-legged, it can be whatever needs to be for you in order for you to feel comfortable in your seat. So as you sit tall, you can move your sitting bones back and broad, enabling that tilt of your pelvis so your belly can come a little bit forward. Draw your shoulders up and back, lengthen up through the back of your neck, and with your eyes closed, tune into a full deep breath in and out of your nose. As you connect your palms together at heart center, take a moment to recognize the details for you today in your body, in your mind. And now softly allow your eyes to open and release your hands down. Gently draw your shoulders up and back, and lengthen up through the back of your neck. And then take ear to shoulder, giving yourself the information of what's going on for your neck, your shoulders. And then shake your head no. Nod your head yes. Nod your head to the right side. And to the left side. And then back into center. And now take arms out to the side, long, reaching through your fingertips. Plug in with your shoulder blades, draw them toward each other. And then wrap left elbow over your right. And you can come to taking your palms, being back to back with your hands, or take a hug. Any of those options. Wherever that is for you, lift your elbows up to shoulder height and draw shoulder blades onto your back. Now take an inhale and lift your elbows up, lift your chest up, and exhale, round through your upper back, coming into a cat-like pose. Inhale, lift up and open, and exhale, round your upper back. Inhale back into center, release your arms, reach them long, and then wrap right elbow over your left. And again, it can be palms back to back or a hug, whatever feels the best to your body. And then lift your elbows up to shoulder height, draw shoulder blades onto your back. Then inhale, lift up and open with your ribs and your chest. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift up and open. And exhale, round. Inhale, back up to center. Release your arms. Switch the cross of your legs if you're sitting cross-legged. Just take the time to move sitting bones and make it a really comfortable seat for yourself. And then roll shoulders back. And roll shoulders forward. And then take hands to come above your head, clasping your thumbs, and pull apart. Try to pull your thumbs apart from each other. Elbows open wide. Draw your shoulder blades onto your back. And then as you keep your chest lifted and your head back, start to lift your hands up above your head, keeping shoulder blades engaged onto your back. So you're going to take your hands as high above your head as your body is ready for, to keep that engagement of shoulder blades. On your exhale, release your hands back down, re-engage and actually switch the cross of your thumbs, pull apart, open elbows, plug in with shoulder blades, and then begin to lift. And as you lift again, you're only going as far as you can keep shoulder blades engaged onto your back. Exhale, hands come back down. Release your arms and give your shoulders a little roll back. Little movement of your head and your neck. Good. So now come forward onto your hands and your knees. And from hands and knees, set yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And as you find that place for yourself, pause and notice the details. Notice how your body feels starting to set up in this hands and knees position. Root down through the four corners of your palms, rotate your elbow pits forward, tuck your toes under. And from this place, begin to move through a slow and thoughtful cat and cow. Inhale, releasing your belly a little downward. Exhale, rounding upward through your spine. Full inhale, long, deep exhale. As you move with your breath, notice for yourself whatever is showing up through your body without any kind of judgment, just taking in the details. Then inhale to a neutral place for your spine. Step your right foot forward in between your hands. If you have blocks, you're welcome to use them here if you want. Work your back knee as far back as your body needs so you have a little longer stretch through your back thigh. And then center off your hips. Think of drawing your right hip crease back in space. Extend your heart forward. Take a deep breath. And then step back to hands and knees and step your left foot forward. And same thing, start to work your back knee back as far as you need it to go. Your toes are tucked under behind you. That tends to help maintain a little stability through your ankle, your knee, and your hip. So now wrap your left hip back in space. Extend your heart. Take a full breath. And then settling back onto your hands and your knees, pause and set yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Rotate elbow pits forward and push so you have that expansion through your upper back. Toes are tucked, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog pose, and take a deep breath. Bend your knees and tilt your sitting bones up, lengthening a little bit more through your low back. And then as you work your thighs back, working your legs a little bit more towards straight, also push from your back, from your lats, all the way out into your hands, and then begin to sway side to side with your hips. And then walk your feet forward, coming into your forward fold. Feel free to do that from hands and knees instead. But from your forward fold at the front of your mat, take a moment to set yourself up. Feet are inner hip distance apart and parallel. Hands again can be on blocks here if you want. Take an inhale and lengthen partway. Make sure your knees stay a little bit bent. Send your sitting bones up and extend your heart forward. Exhale, fold over your legs. Hands to hips. Press your hips back, start to lift up and open through your chest, and inhale, rise. And from this place, notice your feet again. Inner hip bone distance apart and parallel. Lift and spread your toes, and then root down with your toes. Take an inhale, reach your arms out long. Exhale, left elbow crosses over your right. And again, it can be taking a hold of palms, it can be back to back with your hands, or it can be hugs. Any of those are options, okay? So find what works the best for your body. Lift your elbows up to shoulder height and draw shoulder blades onto your back. Take an inhale, lift your elbows, lift your ribs, lift your chest. Exhale, bend knees to fold over your legs, keeping your arms in this eagle place if that feels okay to your body. If your body is saying no, if there's a lot of tension, then maybe you release your arms and let your arms hang. But take a moment here to do a little bit of moving, swaying, and allowing for a little bit of work of gravity to help you release a little bit. Then releasing your hands down, you can take your hands to blocks here if you want to, or to the floor. Step your right foot back into your lunge. You can always bring your back knee to the ground in this lunge. Otherwise, bring your hands up to your hips. Center off your hips, drawing your left hip crease back, and then settle deeper. Press down onto your hips, lift your chest up high, and now your choice. You can take gratitude or you can reach. Full big breath. On your exhale, take right hand across to your left knee or thigh, left hand to your hip. You're moving that left hip back in space and pushing down to help you lengthen your sides. Take an exhale and draw your low ribs in, and allow that to help you twist just a little bit more. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, hands come down to the front of your mat. Find your blocks and come up to the highest point of them. And then work your front leg towards straight. You might shift your hands back here so your wrists are under shoulders. Push your big toe mound down on your left foot, and then wrap your left hip back. Bend your right knee and tilt your sitting bones up. Try to stick your butt in the air. Take a big deep breath, extend your heart forward. And inhale, bend into your front knee. Your back knee comes to the ground now. Work your hands to the inside. And from here, extend your heart forward. And then work down toward your your right hand or your right elbow, whichever feels the best to your body. And from this place, left hand comes to your knee. Turn your belly and your heart toward the left side. Take a big deep breath. Put both shoulder blades onto your back. Push your big toe mound down on your front foot and activate the glute to wrap it back and down. Take a big breath. Good. And then bring both hands back to the ground and settle back onto your downward facing dog or hands and knees, your choice. Take a deep breath. Then walk your way forward, take as many steps to come forward as you need. Feet inner hip distance apart and parallel. Take an inhale and lengthen part way. Again, send your sitting bones up, extend your heart. Exhale, fold over your legs. Then as you plant your fingertips, you're stepping left foot back into your lunge. And again, back knee is up or down, your choice. Bring your hands up to your hips. And as you work your right hip back, your left hip a little forward, you're bending into your front knee. Push down with your hands and find lots of length, hip to armpit. And then you choose the variation for your arms. Gratitude, reach up, maybe keep your hands at your hips. But up and open through your shoulders. Take a big breath. Good. Next exhale, left hand comes across to your right knee or thigh, right hand to your hip. Push down with both hands and lengthen, lift. Then exhale, low ribs in to help you twist. Full inhale here, full exhale. Inhale, back into center. Exhale, hands come down to the front of your mat. Find your blocks. And now work your front leg towards straight. As you push your left big toe mound down, wrap your left hip back. Those two actions are really helpful for getting into a length of hamstrings. Bend your back knee, tilt your sitting bones up, extend your heart forward. Take a deep breath. Good. Inhale, bend into your front knee. Your back knee comes to the ground. Work your hands to the inside. And now your left hand comes to your block, or your left elbow comes to your block, whichever feels the best to your body, right? Without any judgment. Notice what your body needs. Right hand to your knee as you start to take this twist toward the right side. Draw your shoulder blades onto your back and push your elbow or your hand down. Push your back knee down so your thigh is lifting just a little bit. And then notice, right big toe pushes, right glute wraps. Exhale, both hands come down to the front of your mat and settle back onto hands and knees. Big toes together, knees wide if that's comfortable, and then find your child's pose. As you take this child's pose, take a full deep breath in and out of your nose. And now gently push yourself up to your seat. And you're going to come all the way down to sitting bones. And now find your blanket and find a long fold and roll that fold up. And now we're going to bring soles of feet together with our legs a little ways away from us. So not really close in butterfly, a little further away so we have a diamond shape. And then take the blanket over the tops of your feet and then wrap the edges underneath your legs. So I'll turn forward so you can see that again, okay? So over the top, underneath, and then your legs can open up. If that's not enough support for your hip flexors or whatever you might be feeling, maybe your knees, then bring something underneath your knees, okay? And then you're gonna take a bolster or a pillow in between your legs and over your feet. And that might be a stack of a few pillows. That might be just one pillow. It might be a stack of blocks and pillows. Whatever you happen to have, we're gonna set our head down. So move your sitting bones back and broad, enabling that tilt of your pelvis. Push down with your fingertips beside you and lift up and open through your heart. And then stay long as you start to walk your hands forward and fold over your bolster or pillow. As you settle in for this pose, it's more of a restorative pose. And really, restorative poses are fantastic for being able to bring awareness without judgment. And that part of it, of no judgment, means that you get to take action. So shift, adjust, add props, and then allow yourself to come to stillness. But remember, you're never stuck in one place. You have about 3 more deep breaths right here. Then inhale, gently bring yourself back up to a seat. You're going to set your props aside. And then from here, bring your blanket or a bolster to where you're going to lay down. And so as you find that spot for yourself, we're now going to open up more through the chest. So as you lay over your blanket or your bolster will sometimes give you a little bit more opening through the chest, but blanket is sometimes a little bit more compassionate if you have any tension in the back body. So take a moment to find what is right for your body, not making any kind of judgment, just noticing what would be compassionate. Then you can take your legs into whatever configuration feels the best to you. It could be a butterfly with props underneath your knees, or maybe your knees are just bent and touching, staying upright, or maybe you extend your legs out long. You decide what feels the best. And then if you want, you can take hands to your belly, or one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart, and take some deep breaths. Remember that you're never stuck in one place. If something stops feeling good, you're always welcome to shift to something that feels a little bit better, but do so really slowly and carefully. Bring awareness back to your breath. If your knees aren't bent, bend them in toward each other and then roll over to one side and push yourself up to your seat just long enough to move your blanket aside or your pillow aside. And then you're going to come back down onto your back. With your footprints on the ground, take your hands to your upper thighs and give a push, so much that maybe you feel your low back lift a little bit, your hips are firmly planted, and then add a little bit of movement here through your pelvis. Extend your right leg all the way out against the ground, pull your left knee in, and then take your knee across your body to the right side. And shift your shoulders over a few inches to the right side to help both shoulders come down. And then maybe extend your left arm out long. Take a moment with your right hand to give a little encouragement of your left thigh. Push it a little bit away from you so you're finding that length through your side. Take a big breath. Inhale, come back into center, and then switch legs. Left leg comes out long, right leg, knee bends and comes across your body, coming into that twist. And again, shift your shoulders over a few inches to the left side. Maybe open your right arm to the right, and then use your left hand or your thumb in your hip crease and encourage your thigh bone a little bit forward on your right leg. Creating that space on your side, take a deep breath. Then inhale back up to center. Hug your knees in. And then set your feet on the ground. And start to shift your way into a really comfortable resting pose for yourself. So you're welcome to keep your knees bent and touching here. Maybe come into a cactus with your arms. Maybe bring your rolled up blanket underneath your head. Maybe set a pillow or bolster underneath your legs. Just take a moment to tune into what would be compassionate for you to be able to rest, settle, come to stillness. Bring awareness back to your breath. A little gentle movement through fingers, through toes. As you're ready to, you're bending your knees and maybe drawing them up into your chest and rolling over to one side. And from your side, give yourself a little propping of your elbow for support or whatever you need to find a little comfort, and take a deep breath. And now extending your top leg out long, use your hands to support you to rise back up to your seat. And then come to whatever seat is comfortable for you. And then stack one hand over the other on your heart space. And with your eyes closed, take a moment for a full deep breath. Have a very peaceful and beautiful rest of your day. Namaste. Thanks, everybody. See you again soon.